Hey everybody, Milo McCary back in another video. Today we are looking at my Master Universe Origins figures, and as you can see, I got a lot of them. So let's get one by one with the figures, starting with the original figure that started it all, He-Man. Now He-Man here came out at the beginning of the line, and I remember when these came out because I was so excited for them. But he's a cool figure. I played with this guy quite a bit. I lost his accessories because my basement flooded, and I have no idea where they went during that time period. And in the interval of the flood, I just kind of lost accessories. So it was one of those things I couldn't really help. It's a pretty cool figure. I like the way they did it, because he does look like the original He-Man, albeit his head, so I'm not the biggest fan of. Now these Origins figures have quite a bit of articulation because the head is on a ball joint. Arms can go out and around. There's a waist joint, which actually comes apart. His arms come out too. His wrist swivels. He's got a bend at the elbow, bend at this elbow, same joint on this arm, same bend on the wrist here. His legs can go up about that much, I think, out that much. Bend at the knee, swivel at the ankle, which I can't get it to do it. There you go. Swivel at the boot, and bend at the ankle. So it's a cool figure. These are cool figures what they are. I'm just not a big fan of, his head sculpt. The head sculpt that this figure has. I wasn't really a big fan of it, but it is what it is. Next, I guess we'll take a look at Skeletor. And of course, I'm not going to go through the articulation on all of these. I only did that here to give you an example. But Skeletor is pretty cool. Like this figure, if you're wondering why this piece looks darker than this piece, this came from the Skeletor figure, which I don't have anymore because my dog destroyed it. So, yeah. The Skeletor is cool. This came from the Battle Armor Skeletor. I stuck it on here because I thought it was a better face than the face that came with the figure, because the face that came with the figure had an open mouth, and I didn't like that. So I stuck it on here. It's a cool figure nonetheless. So our tabs together like the original figures. I think he does a good job resembling the original figures, albeit brighter colors than the originals. Says Skeletor. Let's stick with villains for a minute because I wanted to talk about this guy. This is Scarecrow. Scarecrow is fairly unique. You notice this translucent plastic's got gold. This is why I have a black light here. I don't know if my camera's picking that up, but he glows in the dark. He's probably one of my favorite figures in the line just because of that. He's going pretty bright. But he has this staff. His cape is rubberized. That's how it was in the original line. I like his head sculpt. He's still got the crack in his skull and the red eyes. It's cool. I wonder if a pretty cool figure. So now let's go to another heroic warrior, Ram Man. So Ram Man is the heroic human battling ram, or battering ram. Couldn't say the word. This guy looks exactly like the vintage Ram Man, except he's got head articulation, which I can't. Hold on a minute. He can move his head because it's on a ball joint, and his knees and arms bend at the elbow and knees. He also does this. He still has the old action features, so if you press his legs in, so there's that. Sticking with heroes for a minute, a little Fisto. Nah, as much as I like these characters in the original line, just got his big sword there. These figures were kind of a disappointment because, well, they weren't really a disappointment, they're just kind of upset because they don't have the action features the original had. This one doesn't anyways, and I have another one that's supposed to have the same features, spring-loaded arm, that it doesn't have. But he does have his sword, he does have his armor. Now we go to another He-Man figure. Battle Armor He-Man. Looks like the vintage toys. His head sculpt looks like the vintage toys, so much better. And that head sculpt. This is the Battle Armor He-Man. He's pretty much the same thing. Now he does not split in half at the waist like this He-Man does, because this figure is permanently put together like that, so you can't do that. His arms also don't come out. The Battle Armor figures don't do that. Some of the other figures don't for obvious reasons. And what's so special about this guy is, you know, this little indented body armor thing here. Well, when you press on that, it appears to be battle damage. When you press on it again, it's more battle damage, just like the original toy. So I thought that was cool, they kept it the same. Plus now he's got a holder for his sword, which I don't think that's his axe. It might be. Yeah, I think that is his axe, because it's, yeah. Stick with battle armor for a minute. We'll talk about battle armor Skeletor. Got the same action feature. And this was also a thing in the original line, if we can get the one on. And he's got a better face than the other Skeletor as well. So, we'll keep going in this row. We'll show off my favorite figure in this line so far, or at least one of my favorites, Skeletor. Of course, if you've ever seen the vintage figure of Skeletor, he has the blood pumping feature. Well, this figure does that too. He's got the blood pump. I actually got one of these for Christmas last year, Skeletor, but he had the wrong feet on him for some reason. And then I finally got this one that had the right feet, which rectified the problem. And blood pumps. Another villain in this room. Merman. Not the biggest fan of this figure at all. I just don't like the ordered power looks. I like the more vintage looks. So I'm not a big fan. I'm more a fan of, we'll just go to the next figure. This Merman, because he's more like the vintage toy. Alright, this one up, but he's got his corn cob looking sword. And you can actually tell if you compare the two here that he uses the same body as, say, Skeletor, because they did, and they just painted it green and they put a new head and armor on him. But it is what it is. They did that in the vintage line, so. But I do like this figure. Then the figure that came with the what's it called? Cronus and Kelder 2-pack. Cronus. Only one that survived the massacre when my dog destroyed my shit in the living room. And I still have him. I need the regular trap jaw though. So I'm not the biggest fan of this figure. I mean, I like it, but his face just looks fucking weird. I don't know. Go from there. Stratos, which I want the regular Stratos, but I like this figure too. It's not a bad figure. It's mini comic Stratos. A lot of people online are calling him Naked Stratos though, because, well, look at him. We go from there to Clamp Champ, which is not a character I cared to own that much, but I still got it as like a complete, so I have a good complete collection of these guys. So, and he's a cool figure. So it's one of those things though, but he comes with his clamp accessory. What you're supposed to do is take him to another fair, just do it to him. Oh, sorry. What you're supposed to do is take it to another figure and go. And be able to pick them up. Which he'll pick up figures, he's just not very good at it. I mean, you can actually. It comes with this little clamp thing. And when you put them in his hands, it becomes this huge, because this figure has two gripping hands rather than a gripping hand and open hand like some of the other figures in this line. So if I were to take the figure and put his accessories in his hands, it would be something like this. And you press the button on his accessory. So yeah. Moving on a little bit faster, we have Buzz Off, which was a character I didn't even know was a part of this line up until I found him at a Target, and I got him. He did come with his goggles, but I have no idea where they are. I lost them. He's a cool figure. He's got that texture the original had, like on his back where his wings are, all over his head, and in the brown parts of his chest here. So I thought that was neat. And then in the realm of characters like Fisto, we have Jitsu, which I love this figure. He's got a little golden hand, which unfortunately the arm is not spring loaded like the original figures. Kinda wish it was, but it's not. But that's Jitsu. Man-at-Arms. Okay, so Man-at-Arms. I like this figure. I mean, I didn't like the fact that they put a mustache on him instead of making him mustacheless like the original figure, because the original figure didn't have the mustache. But I guess it's better than not having Man-at-Arms. Although what's kind of shitty is I had a Man-at-Arms before, and I broke his hand off. It wasn't very fun. This is one of the newest figures I got. This is Clawful. And he's a cool one because he's got his snap claw, which the original figure had. His armor, like the original figure, and his other hand like that. This is one of the newest ones I got. These next few ones I'll show you are the newest ones I got, but I love them. Web Store. Now, Web Store is one of the newer ones I got. He comes with this hook. It's hooked up to his backpack, and you zip line him on the castle. It actually works out really well. So, I love this figure. Faker. Now, Faker is an interesting character because he's supposed to be the evil robot of He-Man. That's why he looks like He-Man. And it is just a simple repaint of the He-Man body, as you can see here. But I still love the character nonetheless. Many Faces. This is my newest figure, actually. I just got this today. Right before I filmed this, actually. My dad picked this up for me. He's got his gun. And he still does the thing where he switches... Oh, no. He switches them on. They still switch. He still has a face switch thing. Except in this case... you can actually turn his head. He's not much different than the original figure, albeit the yellowness of this one compared to the original figure. Like I said, you can still turn his head. But his outer head actually has an articulation joint now, which I thought was super cool. So, yeah. Many Faces. And finally, Ninjor. A character that I really like. He doesn't even look like he belongs with these figures, but it is what it is. This is also one of my newest figures. This is the last one I got before Many Faces. I got this guy like a week ago. It came with several weapons too, but it is what it is. Okay, well that was a look. My Masters of the Universe figures. All these things so much. If you guys want to see, I'll do more toy videos and other things that aren't strictly movies in the future. Just hit the like button to let me know that that's something you'd be interested in seeing. The other shit that I own, and I'll get around to making videos about it. Bye.